There are things a man can forgive, and then there are things a man should never, ever tolerate. Too many men confuse the two. They call it compromise. They call it keeping the peace. They call it love. It's not love, it's surrender. And here's the brutal truth. The moment you tolerate disrespectful behavior, you teach her that she can keep doing it, and she will. Flirting with other men to get a reaction. Mocking you in public and calling it a joke. Withholding affection to control you. Pushing your boundaries just to see if you'll break. You may think it's harmless. You may think it's just how women are. But it's not. It's a test that will cost you her respect, your dignity, and eventually your sense of self. If you want to know the 8 behaviors no self-respecting man should ever tolerate, stay with me. Once you understand them, you'll never view relationships the same way again. 1. Flirting with other men to get a reaction. If you are a man with self-respect, you do not tolerate this. You do not laugh it off, excuse it, or pretend it's harmless. You walk. When a woman flirts with other men in front of you, especially to provoke you, she is testing your value as a man. Women don't always test with words. Often, they test with actions. Subtle actions designed to push you out of your calm and see if your frame can hold under pressure. Laughing a little too hard at another man's jokes, touching his arm accidentally, exchanging glances long enough for you to notice, it's all deliberate. And when she looks at you, she is watching your reaction. Will you explode? Beg for reassurance? Perform for her attention like a boy fighting for scraps? Or will you stay calm, grounded, and composed, reminding her that your value does not rise or fall based on her antics? Most men fail here. They either overreact, causing a scene and looking insecure, or they underreact, pretending not to care while quietly seething. Both responses say the same thing: she controls you. And once she knows that, respect dies. Flirting in front of you isn't harmless. It's about testing your limits. A stoic man sees the behavior for what it is, a blatant sign of disrespect, and enforces his boundary calmly and directly: I don't compete for attention. If you want to behave as though you're single, be single. But I won't share my life with someone who disrespects me to feed her ego. No yelling. No theatrics. Just clarity. The calmer you are enforcing your boundary, the more powerful you become. 2. Weaponizing tears to avoid accountability. A woman may use tears to manipulate you, escape responsibility, or turn the spotlight away from her actions. If you are a man of dignity, you will never tolerate this. She crosses a line, you call her out, and suddenly the tears come, trembling voice: I can't believe you'd say that, and before you know it, you're comforting her, apologizing, and backing down. Accountability vanishes. This isn't about real pain. A woman genuinely hurting deserves empathy. This is about manipulation, turning her tears into control, making you feel guilty, and evading responsibility. Men often fall for it because they hate seeing a woman cry. But if you let tears blind you, you become easy to manipulate. A stoic man doesn't take the bait. He stays grounded, brings the conversation back to the point, and holds firm: I'm not attacking you. I'm holding you accountable. We can discuss your feelings, but first, let's address what happened. No drama. No comforting until the issue is resolved. A woman who respects you may cry, but she also owns her actions. A woman who doesn't weaponizes tears to make you the villain. You choose to stand firm or get played. 3. Disrespecting you in public and calling it jokes. Public humiliation is never harmless. It usually starts small, a joke about your clothes, habits, or job. Everyone laughs, she smirks, and when you look upset, she says, Relax, I'm just joking. But it wasn't a joke, it was a test. Women rarely humiliate men they respect. Laughing along or swallowing your pride teaches her she can disrespect you without consequence. It escalates. Today, it's your clothes. Tomorrow, your masculinity. A stoic man addresses it immediately, calmly, without anger or drama. Don't joke about me in public. If you have something to say, we'll talk privately. Short, clear, unwavering. This sets a boundary and signals that your dignity is non-negotiable. If she mocks you publicly, she's showing how little she fears consequences. If you say nothing, you confirm her control. The Stoics taught that dignity is non-negotiable. You cannot control others, but you can control what you tolerate. 4. Using your love as leverage. If you really loved me, you'd do this, or withholding affection as punishment. This is control, not love. Men often cave, abandon boundaries, and jump through hoops, calling it compromise. But what they're really doing is training themselves to live as emotional hostages, valuing themselves based on compliance. A Stoic man knows love is a choice, not a contract. Emotional manipulation disguised as standards is unacceptable. He calls it out calmly. Withholding affection to control me is not love. That's manipulation, and I won't live like that. Real love never uses affection as leverage. It's a partnership, not a power struggle. 5. Belittling your goals and passions. Small comments like mocking your business idea, hobbies, or ambitions may seem harmless. They're not. When someone undermines your purpose, they're showing contempt. Tolerating it tells yourself the same thing: you're worth less. A Stoic man protects his mission. He will walk away from anyone who disrespects his purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Stop prioritizing her opinion over your vision. A woman who respects you will support your goals. One who doesn't, she doesn't respect you. 6. Testing your boundaries just to see if you'll break. Boundary testing often starts subtly. She shows up late, interrupts you, dismisses your opinions. Ignoring it teaches her your limits are flexible. Small slights escalate to emotional games or threats. A Stoic man enforces boundaries early and consistently. Calmly. Without begging, screaming, or overreacting. That's not acceptable. If it continues, I will not stay. Boundaries are about self-respect, not control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Setting boundaries reclaims that power. 7. Threatening to leave whenever she doesn't get her way. "If you don't do this, I'm done." Or sulking and giving the silent treatment. This is emotional blackmail, and men who tolerate it live in fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of upsetting her, fear of being themselves. A Stoic man refuses to be manipulated. He does not plead or negotiate. He calmly shows the door if she chooses to leave. Love cannot survive where abandonment is a weapon. Freedom from fear restores control, grounding, and dignity. 8. Withholding affection to control you. Conditional love, affection given only when you comply, is manipulation. Many men tolerate it because they crave intimacy. They bend backward, thinking they're saving the relationship, but they're actually training themselves to obey. A Stoic man does not beg, chase, or crumble. He calls it out: "If you're upset, we can talk." Using affection as leverage is not how I do relationships. Real love is not transactional. If she can only love you when you comply, that's control, not love. If you've tolerated any of these behaviors, it's time to draw the line. A Stoic man sets boundaries, enforces them, and refuses to surrender his dignity. Respect starts with self-respect. Comment, "I draw the line," if you're ready to take back your respect.